I'm not doing this with you no more. Come on the show. Come on the show.
Who keeps you laughing with all the jokes? It's JV. Who keeps it real around all your folks? It's JV. You've been looking and what do you know? Congrats, you tapped into the JeVaughn Show. Who keeps you laughing with all the jokes? It's JV. Who keeps it real around all your folks? It's JV. Out of the outlook who give you some hope. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the JeVaughn Show.
So rich, so thick, and amazing. Shut up. So I'm excited to have you on the show today because I know your works. I read your bio. I done seen your videos. But
Well, don't believe nothing that you read. It's all fabricated.
I believe every word that was said.
Wow.
But for those who want to hear you tell your story from your perspective, real quick, like we do at the beginning of every JeVaughn show, please tell the people who is DeAnte, not DeAndre Duckett.
I am a simple black church boy from Los Angeles, California. As you can see, we're repping LA today, and that's on period. Born and raised in the church, got my start early, directing at 13. I just love to have fun. I'm everything from music to fashion. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a TV recycling company, so I'm not just doing music by myself. In itself, I work 9 to 5, and pretty much that's just me. I just really love to have fun.
Music and fashion, they go hand in hand.
They do.
Which one did you get into first, the music or the fashion?
I was into the music first because my family is musically inclined. Every May, the May family, which is my mother's side of the family, would have a concert. And that's kind of where I got my start from. My grandfather, not kind of, but definitely pushed me out there to orchestrate and lead and put the concert together. And I would do stage props. And, before pipe and drape was a thing, I would get like these cardboard post pillars, and I would staple curtains to it and get lights, and just it'll be a hot mess on the back end, but the front end you'd have thought we was at a cathedral. But interior design as well, but and decor. But that was my start, and then the fashion came kind of later. My aunt would take me to the mall and make me carry her bags just because she wanted to be lazy, but it gave me women. They want you to just go with them so you can carry the stuff and pay for it. Praise God.
Right.
I love them. I love y'all. But it gave me the passion and the drive to start styling. And I started styling my family for the concerts. I would style them, and then when I joined Los Angeles chapter of the Gospel Music Workshop of America Young Adult Choir, I became the one of the stylist for the choir, and I would pick out the uniforms and dress half of the choir for that. Then that kind of pushed me out there as a stylist, and I would just start styling other choirs and other people, and it just kind of just went from there. But it's more music now than it is fashion. I mean, I dress my choir, but
and isn't that really the reason to get a choir, just so that you can style them? Because listen, I remember back in Chicago when I had my my stuffed animals as my choir, and when I say that they were sharp and coordinated.
Well, my choir didn't require uniforms.
Black and white.
They're perfume bottles. So there was no way to put garments on them. And then
wait a minute, your favorite made up choir was the perfume bottles?
No, my favorite made up choir was so my grandfather was an electrician, and there's this thing called wire connectors. That was my favorite choir because there were different shapes of the wire connectors, and then there were different colors. So there was there were orange, there was yellow, and there was red. So I would have orange, one color would be the altos, the red would be the tenors, the yellow would be the sopranos. So nice. That way you knew who was what. That was my favorite, because perfume bottles, it was so many different
Right.
You know,
Shirts
sizes
and
and stuff. It was like
sizes,
multiple
right.
people, but the wire connectors had
Mm-hmm.
organization and uniforms. Hello. So that was my
My favorite though was to get, and this is some of my favorite because I directed choirs and led praise and worship teams and stuff like that. But and I've been bigger and smaller, so I speak from experience that I would always have my big bears in the alto section. You see, I wanted my squallas to be.
we call them the truck drivers.
Shut up. Yes, put my truck drivers in the alto section.
Call them. Big Bertha is what we call them. Big
And
Bertha, and then Bartholomew was the tenors. Yeah, Big
yes.
Bertha. She has to be about 450, 500 on a good day. And she has to be a truck driver.
And what my sopranos were the daintiest. Oh, they were the prettiest.
Pretty, very pretty. Pretty with the bob.
Yes.
Pretty with the bob. If you don't, I tell people, I have a saying, and the audience cracked up when we did my release. It's called sleeves and weaves. So you gotta sling your weave and swing your sleeve. So sleeves and weaves is when we do the Ricky Dillard clap like that. I call it sleeves and weaves.
Did you ever write to sleeves and weaves?
Huh?
Did you ever write to sleeves and weaves, like a song where you knew specifically that you wanted the group, that you wrote this song and brought this bop specifically?
Every song I write is to sleeve. Every song I write is to sleeves and weave. It's just the fabrication of my life, and it was unknowingly known for me. And I can't say it because we're on a radio show. But if you,
you got to say it now because it's out there.
This is the Lord's. I'm not afraid to say it. You can blurp. Blurp it out. But if you ever watched Step Brother, and they say boats and hoes, so that's sleeves and weaves. So it came to me right during that movie. I said, "This is perfect. Like this is what So God gave me that. He did.
I now want to write a bop now to sleeves and weaves, specifically using the word sleeves and weaves. There has to be a gospel song that we can write, even if it's on this program and we let somebody take it and further it the ministry.
Put sleeves and weaves in there. If I do it, it will be for I would do it for like a sketch.
Sleeves and weaves. I don't know.
I would do it as like a comedy sketch.
Mm-hmm. How did you get strategically placed to present a song for one of the greatest gospel choir masters of all time?
Glad you asked that question. GMWA, the Gospel Music Workshop of America, people can say what they want to say about the convention. I am a lifelong member of that convention because of this specific purpose. Nothing is perfect, just like church. Everything has its issues. But this specific convention is the reason why I have any placement, because I was given the opportunity to present my music to multiple chapters, to multiple musicians, to multiple singers, to multiple choir directors and multiple choir members. Can you write for this choir? Can I take this song and put it on this album? And throughout the whole process, God connected me to a gentleman named Quadra Salters, who is originally from Memphis, but he lives in DC now. And Quad is the MD and one of the producers for Ricky's album, but his Choir Master 2 album. And during the process of Quad and I working on my record, we're creating the demos, and I guess one day he's driving to rehearsal or to the church, and he's playing one of our songs, and Ricky hears it and was like, "Who's that? That's hot. I need that." And from there, he just, we're like, "Bro, Ricky is interested. Give it to him. Okay, give it to him.
Just give it.
Choir master. Just go. Let's go. Whatever one, however one, whatever. Just Yes. And from there, it created a great relationship between him and I, and the rest is history in the making.
Wow. So just
History in the
by
making.
being in the right place at the right time,
Right place
and
at the right
then
time. Yeah,
putting
it's
your
all about anything in this gospel industry or industry period is always relational. Your talent is great, you know, talent is amazing, but your character and relationships is what keeps you where you need to go. The talent gets you to the room, but your relationship is what keeps you in that room, and your character is what keeps you in that room. And you got to do it right. You can't sleep your way to the top. It ain't gonna last long. They're gonna find
when,
somebody else.
but when you find out that Ricky wants that song, in your mind, are you going like, is there, and it's not narcissistic or anything like that, but is it a, yeah, he should like that song, or is it a, man, I got 3-4 songs better than that one. Why don't he want one of these? Like, what
No,
was in your,
I'll tell you how crazy it was when I wrote "Bless Your Name." I wrote it with New G in mind,
ah,
but I wrote "Bless Your Name" in 2011.
oh,
Hello.
wow.
In 2011, I wasn't thinking about putting on a record. I just said, "This is." I knew, and at that time, what record was out in 2011, 2010?
2011 was,
I want to say it was the Red Experience, the Blood Experience.
mm,
No, the Red Party. I want to say the Red Party. So New G I was listening to that CD almost every day. So their sound was imprinted in my brain. God is great. That was my bop. So
yeah,
that sound was in my brain. So when I wrote "Bless Your Name," I wrote it with the intent of hearing New G
wow.
sing it.
So, take me back to when you hear a song in your head. Now, again, I've been blessed to write a song and have it be sung by a community choir and a college choir. And in my experience, it was not at all what was actually in my head when I wrote it.
Yeah.
Was it something similar to that, or when you finally heard New G teaching it and singing it, were you like, that's exactly what it was supposed to be?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because if I could be honest,
Oh, please do.
when I taught it to my choir, it was exactly what it was supposed to be. Because we
Okay.
recorded it too.
Right.
Now, anytime you present a song to a choir, they're going to add their own spin to it.
Right. They have producers and musicians
And the teacher or the director is going to do a certain inflection that they want or that they feel should go where it goes. So no
right.
song is ever done the way the writer writes it unless the writer teaches it.
Right. You were just a reference track.
I'm just a reference track. The most beautiful compliment you can get is when the choir master tells you, "I have to study your song for a week to really dissect it and get it. And when I listened to it, I heard us in the sound."
Wow. What do you do
All
after
right, don't talk to me for 3 weeks because I'm,
that?
you know, in the most humble way. I need rose petals where I walk, and I need the best water ever. No, but
Right. Because in that moment, then
yeah.
what I'm thinking is that you can't talk or say anything to me negatively because the choir master studies my music. So
And it's honestly, it was one of the most humblest thing because it's like, okay, this has happened. Now what do I do? Because I can't live here. I cannot dwell here. I cannot allow this to be what I hang my resume on or the biggest trope. Okay, this is the foundation. This is another step. Okay, so I have to grow from here. And even when we're at Stellar's this past week, and I walk up to him, me and my mom I took my mom and my godmother, my two aunts, to the show. And I didn't get to do any of the carpet or the after parties because that was like a babysitter. I didn't get to be the artist, but I wanted them
right.
to really get to experience and it was on the floor too. So we got to experience being in the midst of everybody. So, they're taking pictures and, I'm being pulled left and right and they're like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, I gotta calm down. So we are in this.
Don't embarrass me in front of my coworkers.
Right. We are
Yeah.
in this now, not saying we've arrived, but we're here. We ain't arrived nowhere, but we are in this. We are we are on the journey to another destination, to a final destination, that everybody's trying to get to. But to walk up to him and I tapped him on the shoulder and he was like, my boy. And I'm like, hi. But he said, man, in his voice, I got that call. He said, I've been hearing about you and your performance this weekend, man. People have been talking about y'all. And I was like, oh, praise God. Praise the Lord. But just to get those affirmations and that encouragement and not just from him, but when people that you looked up to, like Dexter Walker, to like, man, I'm pushing y'all. Y'all got my support. JJ Harrison. We did it the 2 days before that. We was all doing a showcase, and my auntie was like, "You know DeAnte?" He was like, "Do I know DeAnte?" Like he sung with me. It's them hearing that. Me knowing. But to hear it and to hear them say it, and for Donna Lawrence to say, "Y'all got the sound," and Maurette Brown. I mean, to hear these people, Tiana Lemons, Kevin Lemons' wife, it was like, whatever you need, I got. To hear this, it's like, okay.
So who is the next great artist that can get your music for free? Who can get it from you for free?
It would probably be Auntie CeCe. So, and this is people probably think this is a made up story. I ain't got time to make up stuff. We got receipts for this. My family was and is extreme Winans fans. Extreme. Okay. When the Winans came out, my family, my mother and her sisters and cousins went to every single Winans concert that was happening in California, Vegas area. And they were known as the Scarf Girls. You ask Carvin, Marvin, Michael, you can't ask Ronald, rest in peace. But you ask BB, they're going to know who the Scarf Girls are. And that's a connection to Percy Beatty. And we'll get to that in a minute. But we would go to, even when I became born, we would go to every single Winans concert. Every single one. And CeCe and BB did a concert at Six Flags. And my Aunt Terry, who is one of my biggest musical influences, and she's the reason why I know half the people I know in the LA gospel scene, took us, and she kind of got sick because she suffered from diabetes really, really heavily back then. And it was me and my cousin Dominique, and we were sitting right at the front. It was in the very front of the line. If you know anything about Six Flags, the Bear Auditorium, the outside auditorium, the backstage is like when you go on in the line, the backstage is right there, so you can see the artists coming in and out. And CeCe saw my auntie sitting there, and she was getting ready to take Ashley and Alex to Looney Tune Land, and she said, "Terry, do you want me to take, DeAnte and Dominique with us?" She was like, "Sure." So we went with CeCe to a Looney Tune Land with her children. So I rode with Ashley and my cousin rode with Alex, and just a couple of rides. So that moment there, I will never forget. I will never forget. And then anytime we did a concert, we took pictures, and at their 20-year reunion, they did a Winans family tour back in 2001, I believe. I sent a picture, and I wrote something on the back of it, and I sent it on stage. And there's a comeback stage. So BB got mad because I had sent a picture of me and BB. I just said me and CeCe. And I did a tour with BB, a People Person tour. And when I told BB who I was, I said, BB, I'm the son of a scarf girl. He lost it and was like, tell them to come backstage. And they went backstage and he like had a fit. And it's moments like that it's priceless. You can't pay me for that. There is no amount of money you can pay a person to receive that kind of joy when a person gets excited of remembering something that meant so much to them. Because at the end of the day, us being artists are humans and we don't know what a small act of kindness could mean to them. And Scarf Girls they literally wore scarves on their necks that had Winans on it, and they would give the scarves to them. So one had a scarf for Ronald, one had a scarf for Michael, one had a scarf for Marvin, one had a scarf for Carvin, and another one had a scarf for BB. And each one always had a scarf for that specific one. And that small act of kindness meant so much to them. And they never forgot it to this day. So to come from that, CeCe can get whatever she wants.
That's a beautiful story, Doc.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing
and
that.
I wish I could make that up, but that's real truth. It's real truth. And it kind of ties into, and you didn't even ask this, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you because we're here. But this last Dillard's, we did the Urban Soul Cafe. It was an honors to a lot of radio personalities, industry people, and artists. And my choir got the opportunity to tribute Percy Beatty. So Percy back then was musician for the Winans. So Percy knew the Scarf Girls. So when Quadras told me we were doing the tribute to Percy, I was like, oh, this Uncle Percy, I gotta bring my A game, right? So, mind you, it was about 200 people in this room at the beginning of the showcase. By the time we got to our tribute, it was maybe 12 people in the room. But I said, as long as Percy is still there, we're gonna sing like the room is full. This is just last Friday, 2 Fridays ago. And we did our thing. Julian Cross sang Down. Titus Shower sang Down, and Sean and Dominique, they sang Down. And Percy was like, man, y'all sound is ridiculous. Lonnie Hunter was like, y'all arrangement of the stuff was priceless. He said, they saved the best for last. I'm like, don't say that, please. I don't like that kind of stuff. But I ain't gonna stop you from your opinion.
Right. Your opinion is valid.
Well, when Percy saw my mom and my aunties, he was like, the Scarf Girls, instantly, like, boom, he knew exactly who they were. And Percy was like, that's my son. My mother was like, that's my son. He was like, she's like, yes, that's little DeAnte. And he was like, oh, your nephew. Like, we have to do something. And so you never know what, people got to be careful. Because that small seed that they implanted in them people's lives 30 years ago is blessing me now.
But I want to go to the Stellars because I didn't make it this year. Yeah. And I would love to get your perspective on what is it going to take to get people like you, Titus Flowers, Keandra Lockett, Dexter Walker, Judah Band, Randy Weston and Judah Band, Vincent Bohannon to leapfrog, take over, supplant, if you will, some of these industry veterans, the Rickies, the Kirks, the Donnies, the Hezzies, that have been there since the 80s, and we're in 2024. Is there a new wave coming? Will that new wave be able to have the same level of notoriety and stability, for lack of a better term, than what's currently in place right now?
I shared this with my interview this morning. And this is, I learned this from the Calvin Bernard Rome, my uncle. He's pretty much shaped my brain and given me the insight of the industry. And you can ask him one question that you think is going to be 5-minute answer that turns into a 3-hour conversation that you never get bored with. Every 30 years, there's a sound that comes from gospel. There's a new sound. You think the first was the Hawkins with "Oh Happy Day" that created the contemporary sound. Then you had Andre Crouch and all of them who kind of built upon that, you know. And then from that was like the 60s, 70s, right? 30 years from the 60s was the 90s with Kirk Franklin. Kirk shifted the entire new contemporary gospel scene. We're right at the moment to where we need this new sound. We're at the 90s, 2010, 2020. We're getting close to 2020. We're trying to see what this new wave is. Who is going to be that general? We don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. And I can't even say it to me. I can't say that. But I don't think it's been seen. I don't think it's been heard. People thought it was going to be the CCM sound, but that's not us. That's not our culture. That's not. We
tried to make it for a while though with KCJ and with Tasha.
Here's the issue with that. Here's the issue with the authenticity of that. We only are successful in what we authenticate, not in what we adapt. Okay? You can try to be like somebody else and it can work, but you won't be successful until you create what you are organically ordained to create. You know, when we try to do what the people do, we ain't successful. But when we do what we are known for is when it launches and it goes forward. And it's not the CCM sound for our culture. That's not us. It don't pull the heartstrings of the people the way God does. And even the way Melvin has rebranded that song, it still makes you feel the way it makes you feel when Just did it back in the 60s. You still get that feeling, although it got that country beat, you know, and it got that bop. You still feel because it's the words that make you feel what you feel. So when there is the same the same message, but a new method, I kind of feel that's the route we're going with keeping the same message, keeping the same foundation, but it's like putting the old, it's trying to get new wine out of old wineskin. It's just not gonna work. But what it's gonna take is from some of the generals to actually pass the torch.
We are back, and now it is time for the lightning round. All right, don't think too hard on it. Just answer the questions. Number one, this is an exclusive premiere of your next single. Please sing us 6 bars of the next song that you plan to release.
Leaning on Jesus, leaning on Jesus, leaning on the everlasting God. Leaning on Jesus, leaning on Jesus, leaning on the everlasting God.
Oh, try to lean on Jesus, everlasting. That's not how that song finishes. Never mind. I thought that we had connected somewhere. Do you prefer radio or podcasting?
Podcasting.
Podcasting. Worst question ever asked in an interview?
Who do you hate?
Ooh, and who was the answer? Moving on. Least favorite song you've ever heard. Mine is Order My Steps. What's yours? Next question.
I refuse to answer that question. You're not doing
What's the last movie or show you watched and loved?
Oh, the one with the emotions.
Cause it's just emotions. You were talking about Inside Out. 1 or 2?
Yes, 2.
Inside Out 2.
I spoke in tongues the whole movie.
Oh, shut up. Oh, Something about joy. Listen, tequila or bourbon?
Tequila.
Any upcoming songs about Balaam? Because you know he smoked that ass.
Heck no.
No, fine. Okay,
No.
whatever. How soon till? Oh no, that's the wrong one. After show. Here's my question. After the show, what will you be doing next?
Today?
Uh-huh.
Going to
After
sleep.
Going to sleep. That's a good answer. Uber Eats or DoorDash?
DoorDash.
Spades or dominoes?
Neither. I mean, spades. If I have to pick one, but
Thank you.
I'm hood,
Neither.
but I'm hood, but I'm not that hood.
I'm looking at you. You're black. Do you prefer washing dishes or clothes?
Dishes.
Dishes. Last non-entertainment job you had?
The one I have now. I'm an
Nice.
recycler.
Tick, tack, or toe?
Tick.
Clearly. Grits, cheese, and sugar, or both?
Neither.
Snap, crackle, or pop?
Pop.
Do you want a Grammy or do you want a Stella?
Both.
Hallelujah!
And both will be next year. Lava Pomai.
Hey, come on through today. And then of course the very last question that I have for everyone. If there was a message that you can give to people listening to you, that's under the sound of your voice, if they only had 30 seconds before they made a decision in their life, if they only had 30 seconds before they went to experience the greatest joy in their life, if they had 30 seconds before they had to go to work, and that 30 seconds was your voice, what would that voice be telling them?
Don't stop believing. That's that simple. Don't stop believing. Don't stop believing in you. Don't stop believing in the vision and the dream God gave you. Don't stop believing in what He has spoken over you. Do not die until you have breathed out everything God has breathed into you. It's not going to be easy. You're not going to always make the right decisions. You're not going to always do things right. People are not going to always go with you because some people have to get left behind. You cannot take dead weight, where you going. That's why, you got to pay for the luggage on the airplane, because if it's too heavy, it just cannot go. You can't take everything with you. Some stuff has to be left behind. That means some people, even some family members, you got to leave behind to go where God is taking you. I'm living that as I speak, because where God has placed me, what I paid for, what I have to suffer for is worth me giving up some things for. It's worth the sacrifice. So just don't stop believing in yourself, because if you don't believe, nobody else is going to believe you.
For those who want to hear more of you, hear more about your ministry, and to follow you, how do they do so?
You can go to my website, fresh off the press, at www.DeAnteDuckett.com. If you want to book us, you could book us in the request at mgmt@6xentertainment.com. You can follow me on IG at _DeAnte Duckett. You can follow me on Facebook at DeAnte Duckett. I am not on Twitter. I am on TikTok. I believe that's DeAnte Duckett. Everything's pretty much my name. You can type in my name and find me anywhere.
Sir, this was one of, and I don't say this to anybody because you can ask some interviews where I said that this is maybe one of my worst, and it's your fault. But this has easily been one of my favorite interviews of all time. And I've been doing this only since 2020.
Me. Don't gaslight me, sir.
I don't. Ask anybody, because I don't. But this has been incredibly entertaining, enjoyable, enlightening, uplifting. And I'm grateful for the connection. So I know that you will get your stellar before Dietrich gets his. And when you do, I want you to know that it was well earned, and that it was in a.
So what
happened? What I do?
That is
that's mine too.
That's my God. And I believe that we're gonna get one together because we finna do some stuff.
Nice. And if you need someone to do an intro like they used to do on the Ricky albums, now, ladies and gentlemen, live from LA, DeAnte Duckett. I can do that, and I can change words.
If you have to do, and now,
Ricky Dillard's new generation. Yes, I know.
But see, there's a line of people who want.
Oh my God! I just keep getting
There
deregulated.
is a
There's a pecking
line
order, and I
I
am
want
clearly
to.
here.
And what's crazy is I want one of those on every album I do. If there's an introduction I feel is not or authentic.
Yeah, but don't be
And I
sexist.
was
It doesn't always have to
mad
be a woman.
because, and while you're watching this, I know you're gonna watch this. I was mad at first because they could not find my introduction for this last album, but we found it.
Hmm.
And we put it on there 3 days before the album came out. Hi, boy. Thank
That's
you,
favorite.
God.
That meant it was meant to be. And
It
what will
was,
be?
and I'm going to have an introduction on every. It's going to be something different every time. But I am
Will there
looking
also be
forward
an
to
interlude and a
the
reprise?
next one. There's this next one that is happening very soon that I will start talking about soon. It's going to have a lot of different things that that it's going to be. It's going to take us back to old school church, but it's going to give us a whole new different vibe.
That's what's up.
I'm
I'm
excited.
looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Hopefully,
Um,
I need everybody in the building because I'm gonna put it out in enough time so people can get their tickets, their
mm,
flights, and arrangements because I don't want no excuses from the Saints.
mm. If the Saints
Listen,
are coming from Dallas, Texas, and by the Saints I mean me, can I at least get
do an
some
interview.
backstage access to do interviews?
Absolutely, I want all the press. Absolutely,
No,
absolutely.
wait, no,
Let's
no, no.
do it.
I'm not trying to be with the riffraff. Like, what's that dude in LA that be interviewing everybody and be getting all the publicity and the promotions and everybody loving Terrell? I don't want to be. Put him over there. Put him over there. I don't want to be next to
You
Terrell.
know, I don't even know. I don't even know who that is.
No, don't worry. You're not missing nothing.
I haven't got on that show yet.
Yeah, he's not worth it. If you haven't been there, then it's not even. I don't even know why you got a show. If you're not gonna put you on there, then why do you even have a
I have
show?
friends who's been on there, and they was like, y'all would be crazy. I was like, yeah, I don't know. It'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Because the way you got me with these lightning rounds, I don't know if I could do a song association. I was like, yeah.
Oh, you got it. Oh, you got it.
I was like, tequila bourbon. I was like, neither. No, I'm not hiding that. It's fine.
We're not gonna lie before the Saints. Listen, this has been fantastic. Not gonna lie to you. I knew it was gonna be great when I heard your music because the music is fire. And the fact that you don't normally or even this ain't your wheelhouse and you're this great at it means that you are about to be unreal and probably have the #1 podcast and radio show in the country. And then it's gonna just make me even madder.
Let me find out you operating prophetic like me.
I do.
That's fine.
Operator. Anyway.
That's exactly
Word association. Word association is what it was. To my great producers, to Elevate Magazine, who powers this podcast, to Marquise Jokes, who brings me guests on it, and to all of you all for watching. This is DeAnte. Don't call him DeAndre Duckett. He is the son of a scarf sister, and this is an amazing, amazing artist. Make sure you guys go pick up the single. Go check out everything that he's ever released, everything he's ever written. Go get it today. What are you waiting for?
Get
what
those
are you waiting
streams
on?
up. Get them streams up so we can get on that billboard, homies.
Yes. So he can get everything. His everything. Never mind. Word association. It's ridiculous. But we are out of here.
Do the Zion movement.
First of all, to Dexter Walker. You postponed coming on my show 3 times, sir. And I'm not going to tell you again. I'm not doing this with you no more. I'm not doing this with you no more, Dexter. We've had this conversation, and now if I got to be public about it, I'm not doing this with you no more. Come on the show. Come on the show. If you have a story to share, record a 60-second video and submit it for a chance to be featured on the next episode of My Story. Share your story to iDreamMedia, INC, at iCloud.com. All right, we are back with a new segment on the JeVaughn Show called Get Me Together. And I have 2 people who are known to help get folks together. DJYM, Lady J. How y'all doing?
I'm good.
I'm doing well.
Cool. So this is what I wanted to do, right? I need you all to help me because I know that I'm always right, but in the event that I'm not, I need somebody to help get me together.
Because
Some
even
people be called to the carpet, though. Some people need to be brought to the front of the church and read they right.
You know
but
what?
you call them
At
to
our
the
age, we too old.
but you
Let
call them to the
them.
carpet. You call them to the carpet in the middle of a club, and then now you're the person that's he was a lame anyway. He was just mad because I ain't want him, et cetera, et cetera. You keep it playing, you keep it pushing. Because what tends to happen, and I say this all the time, what tends to happen is the one that turns you down nasty like that, and you keep it player, you'll end up getting a friend that you probably wanted in the first place.
That's a fact.
Isn't it? Don't we get to an age where we just too old to have friends, new friends? And I'm being dead serious. I don't think I want to meet another new friend for the foreseeable rest of my life. I have so many friends that a new friend. What am I doing at 45? What am I doing with a new friend?
So let me tell you, here's the thing, and YM could tell you this. He get a new friend almost every other day. He had to remind me of stuff. I don't be knowing nothing. He had to explain stuff. I'm like, you did what? I don't even remember that. What and it
Lord.
sounds like a joke.
It's really not a joke. It's the truth.
It's really not. I don't
sounds
be
real.
knowing stuff. Like literally, we had a whole conversation about something, and the bad part was it was business.
Mhm.
I agreed to make a whole business decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, the hell I didn't. When did I do that?
Why would I do that?
I was like, I would have never agreed to that. I said, you must have been talking to me when I was sleepy. One of them other me's in my head took over.
And we're dealing with Jay, you gotta have it in writing.
Because I'm like,
And
I don't
pull
even
up
remember that.
receipts. I keep receipts all the time. Yeah, I ain't say that. Yes, you did, because I texted to you. Here it is, and I send it right back to her, and then she be mad.
I'll be like, and then I go inside myself, and we be having conversations. Okay, which one of the 37 of y'all up in here did that? Because that wasn't me. That wasn't me. But you know what? To be fair, very rarely are one of the other me's making bad decisions unless it's that little deaf girl. It's a little deaf girl in my head. Unless she make decisions, it really be fine. But I don't be remembering. So he get a new friend all the time. And honestly, to be fair, I'm like you, but he is so personable. And the crazy part is I'm more outgoing than he is.
Mhm.
But people love to talk to him. We go somewhere and they're talking to him, and I could feel him. He's like, oh my God, they're gonna talk to me. And so people just love him. And and da 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 da. And I think it's so funny because he doesn't like it. We told him we did an event. We went somewhere, and I told him, I say, oh, they gonna love you. I say, all these women gonna eat you up. He was like, no, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna sit right here at this little table. Within 15 minutes, people were talking to him, everything, and he motioning like, save me. I'm like, you're fine.
I mean, I'm just a kind person, right?
He is.
And I like to think that I like to think that I'm a pretty pleasant person, but I really don't like people. If I'm telling you the truth, I don't, because sometimes it's hard for me to differentiate somebody that's trying to be genuine and somebody that's trying to take advantage of me. But once I see it, I can't unsee it, and I'm going to treat you as such.
Do you take on all new friends?
No.
I literally have like people that I call friends that are for real friends. I literally have 4 friends. I got 4.
So
he got one. He got one.
I grew up the same way, right? I do not have many friends, especially male friends, right? Because I grew up with all females. My entire life has been females. So
me too.
Like 95% of my friendships are females, including ex-smashes. I continue though. So my question is it easy for you to take on new male friends? I can take on new female friends very easily. I am terrible with taking on new male friends.
If I'm being 100% honest with you, it's not easy for me to take on any friends because because I got a huge heart, right? I'm like Pac, like Pac said back in the day, right? He's got a huge heart. That's why he's so vicious, because I have to protect myself from people. I have to vet you and see who you are first before I extend the olive branch of friendship. That's why I only got 3 of my military homeboys. We've been to war together. We've been places together. You know what I mean? And then Jay, and I've known her basically my whole life. But outside of that, nope.
He don't want to tell the truth. The truth of the matter is, I
Here
don't
we go.
be letting not nothing on everybody. Listen, he'll be like, "Oh, so and so." Listen, I'm gonna let you in. This one person, call him best friend on the Facebook.
Not in front of you though.
It was on the Facebook.
It was on Facebook. Yeah, she was hot. She was hot, boy.
Did you leave a post underneath that post?
No, I immediately call him. I went and got my Progresso soup can. Ring. Because I don't understand. Who is this heifer? Where did she come from?
This is another person that I served in country with in the military, and we were really, really cool. We were really, really tight. You know what I mean? And it's just how it is. Like we've since, really, like we see each other every so often. You know what I mean? Or we'll talk every so often, but we really, we really
They're
don't
not
talk much
friends.
anymore.
They are what you call military. Military acquaintances. So in the military, you can have a battle buddy. A battle buddy doesn't necessarily equal a friend. So it's like when you work with somebody, it's a work colleague. It's a little bit more intimate than a work colleague. When you got
it's a little different when you go to war together, Jay. I'm just trying to tell you.
You know what?
I'm trying to tell you.
I'm not taking nothing away from combat. I understand. But there is no thing like a best friend. There's like it says, there's not a friend like the lowly Jesus. No, not one. So there's Jesus, and then you got your spouse. I ain't gonna touch you in buttercup, and then there's me. Like, I'm trying to understand. Listen, I didn't know it. So listen, if I don't know you, everybody out here claiming to be his friend. If I don't know you,
how soon when you met your wife did you let her know about Jay?
So interesting story. Jay and I had lost contact just after I joined the military. It just happens sometimes, right? And as her and I progressed into a relationship, me and Jay reconnected, like, hey homie, hey, I ain't heard from you in a while, yada yada yada. And shortly thereafter, her and I were still dating, engaged, somewhere in that time frame. I'm like, yo, hey, this my homegirl. This who she is. This who she gonna be. And
what if she would have said, "I'm not cool with it"?
She did.
Oh,
she did. She did. And I explained the depth of the situation and explained to her the role that Jay has in my life, and they're still meddling around trying to be friends now. That's what I'll call it. You know what I mean? Because they'll call each other and they'll talk for 8 months straight, and then for 2.5 months they won't talk to each other. And it's no beef or anything like that. It's just that's just how their relationship has gone over the years. But
can Jay call at 11:30 at night?
Yes, she can. I mean, because my wife know who she is, and
can y'all travel together out of town?
We haven't. If it was necessary for business,
if it was for business, I don't think it would be an issue.
But see, you got to remember. Here's the thing: when you respect a person's relationship and you don't overstep boundaries, and you also keep your friend in check, part of the problem is I never allow. I'm never not his friend. And that means I prefer to be the first one to be up his ass and around the corner when he's wrong. I never ever want somebody else to tell him he was wrong before I did and I knew it. That's bogus, because I'm your homie. I'm going to tell you, we can be mad, we can argue, we can fight, but I would never put him in that position.
Right. Also, Jay and her children have been here to my home because I live in Arizona. Of course, Jay is in Chicago, in the Chicagoland area. And Jay and the kids has been here. I think her husband had something else going on and he wasn't able to make the trip. But Jay and the kids have been here in the house all together, and we all hung out together. Like, we're for real friends.
I wish my wife would stand in the niggas' homes. Now, by the way, I will admit that this is a double standard. I will stay wherever I damn well please because I'm man. But she needs to sit her little homeless hot tail somewhere down and not at some other nigga's house. So thank y'all for helping me get myself together. It didn't work, but there will be other opportunities. For those who want to connect with you guys, please tell them about your podcast and how they can listen to it.
All right. So if you want to listen to us, you can find us anywhere that you get your podcasting from, whether it's Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, it doesn't matter. You can find us over there. Look for Sophisticated Spark. Additionally, we have a daily show on CMI Radio, and it's also an affiliate of iHeartRadio. The name of that show is The Rally Point with DJYM and Lady J. Every day, 8 to 11 on CMI Radio. You can find CMI Radio basically everywhere. 365 Live. You can find it on iHeartRadio. You can find it on TuneIn. You know what I mean? So, or you can go to www.cmiradio.org. And you can find CMI Radio and just look out for The Rally Point.
Get a little bit crazy. Let's 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 get a little bit crazy.